This study aims to establish correlations between the Amarna Letters and biblical events, emphasizing the parallels between ancient texts and biblical narratives. According to the Bible, the rise of David was achieved by the conquering of Jerusalem in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 6. The verse reads,
"The king and his men marched to Jerusalem to attack the Jebusites who lived there. He captured the fortress of Zion to be the city of David."
This pivotal event in Bible history may have been documented from the enemy's perspective in several Amarna letters, with letter 289 being the most notable. The letter has the king of Jerusalem naming cities from Gath all the way through the valley of Rephaim to Jerusalem and beyond, as far as Keilah to the south and Beit Shan to the north. This whole region was raided by certain rulers named Tagi of Gintikirmil, who this study identifies as King David, and Elimelchu of Gezer, identified as David's ally Ahimelech. Their attack plunges the king of Jerusalem into despair, as revealed in Amarna letter number 289. In his plea to the Pharaoh, his lord, this king writes,
"O king, the Gintikirmil belongs to Tagi, and men of Gath are the garrison in Beit Shean. Are we to act like Labiah when he was giving the land of Shechem to the Habiru?" Indeed, Elimelchu has written to Tagi and the sons of Labiah. He said, "Both of you be a protection. Grant all their demands to the men of Keilah, and let us cut off Jerusalem."
The name Tagi, specifically, may derive from the Hurrian root tadu, meaning to love. Interestingly, the biblical name David in Hebrew translates to beloved, making the names from Hebrew and Akkadian respectively as Tagi and Dawid, both phonetically and etymologically compatible. However, what stands out even more than the similarity of their names are their actions, as both men are recorded to have launched major attacks on Jerusalem. These Amarna letters highlight Tagi of Gintikirmil as a key figure in a powerful coalition that seized cities and territories, echoing the biblical conquests of King David in reshaping the region. In Amarna letter 287, the king of Jerusalem raises an urgent warning about Tagi's influence, emphasizing the critical role played by cities such as Gezer, Ashkelon, and Lachish in siding with the Habiru and supplying them with vital resources. The letter states,
"Consider the lands of Gezer, Ashkelon, and Lachish. They have given food, oil, and any other requirement to the Habiru. May the king provide for archers and send them against the men committing crimes against the king, my lord."
In the end, this king of Jerusalem writes a lament in Amarna letter number 288 by describing the forces advancing against him, reflecting parallels with David's ability to unite Hebrews and Philistines through both military success and strategic alliances. The letter records,
"Troops from Gezer, Gath, and Keilah seized Arabah. The lands of the king have been abandoned to the Habiru."
The impending attack on Jerusalem is vividly captured by its king, Abdi-Heba, in Amarna letter 289, where he expresses his desperate situation and the looming threat of defeat in the war.
"I am situated like a ship in the midst of the sea. The strong hand of the king took the land of Nahrima and the land of Cush, but now the Habiru have taken the very cities of the king. Not a single mayor remains loyal to the king, my lord. All are lost."
The victory over Jerusalem was just the beginning of David's monarchy in the biblical account. It happened in the 7th year of his reign that would last a total of 40 years. The reason he was so successful was his ability to defend and expand his borders. It was the war against the country of Aram, described in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 10, that solidified David's reputation as a warrior king. Interestingly, most of the Amarna letters are exactly about a conflict in the Aramean states between the king of Gubla, identified here as the biblical kingdom of Zobah, and the rebels known as the Habiru, identified as the biblical Hebrews, led by David's military commanders Joab and Abishai. This study argues that the Aramean War, described in the Amarna Letters, was initiated by several Habiru-supported rulers, namely Ayab and Abdashirta, who launched attacks along the borders of the Aramean territories. It is Amarna letter number 364 that records this event, as this Ayab writes to the Pharaoh on his imminent attack near the southern borders of Aramean country against the city of Hazor.
O Pharaoh, note that it is the ruler of Hazor who has taken 3 cities from me. From the time I heard and verified this, there has been waging of war against him.
Amarna letter 62 further complements this situation, with the Amarna ruler, Abdashirta, attempting to justify his conquest of the city of Sumer, located within the northern Aramean borders, despite acting against Egypt's best interests. The letter states,
O Pharaoh, why do you speak like this of me, my lord? You are an enemy of Egypt, and you committed a crime against Egyptians. May my lord, listen. There were no men in Sumer to guard it, and Sumer was afraid of the troops of Sehlal. If I had been staying where life was peaceful, then the troops of Sehlal would certainly have sent Sumer and the palace up in flames.
This two-front conflict mirrors the biblical campaign led by General Joab and his brother Abishai on behalf of King David against the Arameans. The siblings find striking parallels in the Amarna period through these two prominent figures, named Ayab and Abdashirta. Both leaders played pivotal roles during the regional conflicts of their time. Their strategies, alliances, and military actions mirror key aspects of the biblical military campaign, shedding light on the complex dynamics between the Habiru, Canaanite, and Aramean factions, as it will be explored in this series.